For decades, Mars has captured our imagination, a dusty red planet floating quietly in our solar system, seen by most as barren and lifeless. But behind that lifeless image lies a growing pile of mysterious clues and overlooked evidence that might suggest otherwise. What if life, actual life, even if microbial, was already discovered on Mars decades ago? And either ignored, misunderstood, or quietly covered up? In 1976, NASA's Viking 1 and Viking 2 landers performed the first experiments on Martian soil, including the now famous labeled release experiment. This test was brilliantly simple. Add a nutrient-rich radioactive solution to Martian soil and check if any microbes ate the nutrients and released radioactive gases. The result? A clear and repeated positive. The man behind the experiment, Dr. Gilbert Levin, has since gone on record saying that Viking found evidence of life on Mars. But the shocking thing? NASA dismissed the results. Why? Because two other experiments didn't find any organic molecules, so the conclusion was that the positive result must be a false alarm. But years later, we learned something game-changing. Mars soil contains perchlorates, highly reactive salts that destroy organic compounds when heated. And guess what? That's exactly what those other two experiments did. They heated the soil to test for organics. Meaning, they could have vaporized the very signs of life they were trying to detect. In other words, NASA might have already found life back in the 70s, but faulty assumptions and flawed testing buried the truth. Now, fast forward to the early 2000s. Telescopes from Earth detect traces of methane on Mars, something that, on our planet, is mostly produced by living organisms. Later, NASA's Mars Express orbiter confirms it. Then in 2014, Curiosity rover picks up seasonal spikes of methane at ground level, disappearing mysteriously during certain seasons and returning in others. This is huge, because seasonal methane patterns are exactly what you'd expect from biological processes, possibly microbial life underground. So why isn't this world-shaking news? NASA cautiously states it's intriguing, but avoids jumping to conclusions. Let's add another layer. In 2018, Curiosity found complex organic molecules in 3 billion-year-old Martian rocks. These aren't just random chemicals, these are the building blocks of life. Preserved for billions of years, hiding in ancient mudstone. Not one, but a variety of organics, including thiophene, which on Earth are often linked to biological activity. But again, the excitement is downplayed. They say, it's not evidence of life, just potential for it. Yet, if Earth had those same signs, we'd be talking about fossilized ecosystems. Now, back in 1996, a Martian meteorite called ALH84001, found in Antarctica, sent shockwaves across the world. It had tiny worm-like structures under the microscope that resembled fossilized bacteria. Even President Bill Clinton made a speech about it. But soon, scientists came forward saying these shapes could be formed through geological processes. And just like that, it was dismissed. But here's the catch. Inside that same meteorite were magnetite crystals almost identical to those produced by biological organisms here on Earth. That part, rarely talked about. Then there are the countless images from Mars rovers showing strange, out-of-place anomalies. Cube-like objects, humanoid shadows, even structures that look artificial. NASA says it's all just pareidolia, our brain seeing patterns in random noise. But how many coincidences are we supposed to ignore before it stops being coincidence and starts sounding like denial? Some believe NASA is simply being extremely cautious, refusing to claim anything without 100% proof. But others think there's more to the story. Maybe confirming extraterrestrial life, even microbial, could spark global religious, scientific, and political debates that we're not ready for. Or maybe the truth would expose secrets that governments have kept hidden for decades. Could Mars have once been like Earth? Blue skies, flowing rivers, and thriving life, wiped out by a massive climate shift or nuclear catastrophe. After all, traces of riverbeds, polar ice caps, and even underground water have already been confirmed. Are we staring at the ruins of a dead civilization, or the underground home of living organisms? With each rover mission, each sample, and each new photo, the mystery only deepens. Mars might not just be a cold, red rock. It might be the key to unlocking the biggest question humanity has ever asked. Are we alone? Maybe we were never alone to begin with. Maybe, we're just now catching up to what's already been known behind closed doors. Subscribe for more mind-blowing space theories, unfiltered truths, and a journey through the unexplored side of the universe. Drop your thoughts below. Has NASA already discovered life on Mars? And if so, why is no one talking about it?